I flung a purple shirt and a pink tie into the boot of my car. I think that's what you call a trunk here. It was a present for my husband. It was his birthday the next day. I was already regretting it. I never seemed to get the presents for Rory quite right. He, on the other hand, a master at buying presents for me. I knew for my birthday and Christmas, a couple of months later, there would be piles of presents, each better than the last. My son Jack would count presents under the Christmas tree, knowing there were a lot more to Mum, love Dad, than the other way around. My daughter Holly would be smiling and giggling like she did most days. Holly and Jack's granny, Rory's mum, would be sitting beside them, delighted to be involved in the surprises. She was a big part of our lives. I was going through all I had to do in my head. Make a birthday cake, wrap the present, pack the suitcases. We were going to my sister's wedding abroad in 2 days' time, hence the purple shirt and the pink tie. Rory never got to wear the purple shirt or the pink tie. It remained in the boot for an entire year. He died suddenly on his 47th birthday. I remember looking at my children that day, thinking, they'll never recover from this. How was I going to be Mum and Dad? They didn't look like a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old. They looked like two small children again, and I couldn't protect them. After Rory's funeral, the three of us, when it should have been four, travelled to my sister's wedding. It was hard saying goodbye to Rory's mum, but it was only a couple of days. I put one foot in front of the other, stood in for the family photo, forcing some kind of smile, knowing this photo was going to be around for a long time. On the way back in the airport, my brother couldn't look at me. I thought, this is so hard for him too. Little did I know. On the other side, Holly and Jack were ushered off with the promise of McDonald's with my sisters. My brother pulled me aside and said that Holly and Jack's granny, Rory's mum, had died while we were away. The drive home was unthinkable, knowing in 30 minutes I now had to tell Holly and Jack that somebody else very important to them had also died. And if I thought I couldn't help them a couple of days ago, it was now worse than ever. Would they go back to school? Would they ever be happy again? At that point, I thought no. They did go back to school. They seemed happy. My family and friends were amazing, going over and above. But I still struggled with the thoughts that I wasn't doing enough, not getting it quite right. Several years later, Holly became very ill. Her airway was in danger of closing over. She needed to go to hospital. As we were preparing to go, Jack calls, "Mum, I think I've broken my arm quite badly. You've got to be kidding me," which I actually think I said out loud. The dilemma. They both needed to go to hospital on the same day, 2 different hospitals, miles from each other. I dropped Jack off, desperately wanting to split myself in two, and continued on to the next. Jack was due for surgery that morning, so I thought he'd be asleep for most of the day. As I sat with Holly, she was getting worse. I ran outside to put money in the meter and to call Jack. He was still waiting, fasting. It was midday. Holly was moved from room to room, surrounded by doctors and nurses. They were trying to find a vein to get antibiotics in her. There were needles in her neck, in her ankles, in her wrists. I was holding her hand when a more senior doctor came in and asked me to leave. Standing in the stairwell, it was cold and silent. I was looking down a wide staircase. I could see no one. I rang Jack. It was 6 p.m. "Mum, I'm still waiting. I'm so hungry and thirsty. It's so crowded here. I'll be there as soon as I can." In my head, I'm thinking I should be there now, demanding that he's brought in. I could hear voices from the room Holly was in. Standing on the stairwell, I now knew I was there for neither of my children. The next 2 days were spent mainly in traffic or looking for parking, grabbing as much time as I could with both of them. Thinking again of the effect this was having on them. I hadn't seen Holly smile for days, and I was sure Jack was worrying. Jack had his operation later that night. and came home in a cast 2 days later. Holly came home the same day and had her tonsils out the following week. I did the best I could, doing the job of two parents, but still felt it wasn't enough. Christmas Day, 2023. The first without Holly and Jack. They're both living abroad. I'm in my mum's. It's the afternoon. We've just had dinner. I'm squeezed in between my sisters-in-law and my sisters on the couch. Everyone else has grabbed a chair or a piece of the floor. We're chatting, waiting to open up presents. We have a tradition that started when I was a child, that every present is opened individually. It's valued, and whoever gave it is thanked. We've had to cut back on presents over the years because there's now so many of us. We have a very strict 1 present for the adults, 2 for the children. The present opening can take hours, but we love it. Sometimes there's extras. My mum gets extras, but that's allowed. This year, a box was planted on my lap. I knew it was an extra. It was a present from Holly and Jack. There was an envelope sellotaped to the outside, a letter from Jack. I thought, Jack doesn't write letters. In fact, what 25-year-old does? I'd be lucky to get a text. I started reading. Dear Mum, I've been thinking of saying this to you for a while. There was silence. This was going to be emotional. Maybe read this when you're on your own, my mum said. I continued. Jack talked about the day his dad died and how I told them both, saying we're still going to be a great family. Did I say that? He wrote about the hospital. Mum, for 2 days, you jump between hospitals, spending hours in waiting rooms and wards, looking after myself and Holly. I thought of the stairwell and my thoughts that day. When we came home, we gave you a bottle of wine, which you were shocked at. You gave us the world, expecting nothing in return, when you deserve so much more. The letter ended. So, Mum, if you're wondering if I think we are a great family, you didn't make it feel like I had 1 parent, nor did it feel like I had 2. You made it feel like I had 10. So thank you. It took me a while to digest what I was reading. It was the opposite of what I had thought. I was surprised, relieved. I knew Jack and Holly were happy, and I was so proud of them. But now I knew I had done enough. Thank you.